Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David
I'm
Hankins,
Paul Hankins.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. Tonight is sort of a follow up to our talk about summer movies. We thought we would talk about a movie that came out today, which we saw in the theater,
Yes.
Toy Story 5,
Yes.
and talk a little bit about the Toy Story franchise as well. And we're not going to try to give away,
We're not going to spoil.
spoil the movie for you.
Yeah. So, Toy Story is a very important movie with in cinematic history. It's not only Pixar's first film,
Which I think was 1995.
yeah, but it is also the first ever all CG film.
Right. Now, this is not, you were too young to see it in a theater,
Yeah.
but we have seen it many times.
Yeah. Or home video.
Yes, especially in the run up to Toy Story 5.
Yeah. Now, I did see it in a theater later when there was a double feature of Toy Story 1 and 2 in anticipation of 3,
Right. Okay.
where they re-rendered the two movies, so that they could work in 3D or
Right.
something.
Okay. And we saw this one in the new one in 3D as well.
Yeah.
It was 7 years ago. It's like they don't like crank these out, and it would be hard to do, and they make other movies as well. But
Yeah.
it was 7 years ago, so this is five films in 31 years,
Yeah. So, and there's the original.
which is pretty much concentrated on Woody and Buzz.
Yeah. Right. So it's interesting, not only growing up with these movies, but then also revisiting them as an adult with more experience and wisdom, I guess. As I was actually surprised at how deep story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's considered a kids movie, but it's not aimed explicitly at kids.
Right.
It actually has Woody and Buzz especially Buzz dealing with an existential crisis
Right.
and figuring out their purpose in their purpose as their worldview gets flipped on its head.
Right.
Woody has to deal with the change of Andy no longer seeing him as the favorite toy, and he has to kind of cope with sharing the spotlight with Buzz, which happens at the end. And then with Buzz, he genuinely believes he is a space ranger, but he has an existential crisis when he realizes he is just a toy. So he figures out his purpose as a toy, which is to bring joy to Andy.
Right. Now, the film, as you said, it's not necessarily geared at children, even though it is enjoyable for kids. But it's also kind of nostalgic for the parents because we all had sort of toys growing up.
Yeah.
And you kind of, I know I did kind of imagine that inanimate objects had a life outside of playing with them. And the fact that, kind of a cowboy is sort of it's not necessarily, I've never heard of anybody having a cowboy doll before, but a sort of Cowboys and Indians was a popular game kids played.
Yeah.
You probably had a pop gun, probably maybe even had a hat or something. So you were into the sort of at some point you go through a cowboy phase, and then, you go through a kind of a space planet universe kind of phase as well. So it was kind of nostalgic. And there's a lot of other toys, not just those two.
Yeah.
There's like this whole little, Andy is very well stocked with toys that are very diverse.
Yeah.
And from, a slinky dog to,
Yeah.
army men and the sort of typical things you have. And sort of, Buzz represents the new toy.
Yeah. The more technologically advanced.
Yes, while
toy.
Woody represents sort of, the toy that you have to imagine what they're saying and play. I guess he has a pull tab.
Yeah, he has a pull string.
Pull tab. He's not a beater. He has a pull string and says certain things, but mostly Andy kind of makes him say stuff.
Yeah.
As you would with a toy.
Then this establishes the sense of scale with the world, like we do occasionally see from the human's perspective, but it's mostly from the toy's perspective. So something that's like the next house over still feels like a huge.
Yeah, like another territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And we also have Sid as an antagonist. He's not like the villain or anything, but he's an antagonistic force.
Yeah, he kind of was a kid like this that likes to blow things up and or is into rockets and
Yeah.
likes to break things and kind of half-ass put them back together.
Yeah.
And so he kind of represents then the kind of the mean older brother.
Yeah.
Well, Andy is sort of a nice older brother
Yeah.
because he has a younger sister we really don't see much of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's sort of good household versus bad household, and
Then the music is also iconic.
yeah, Randy Newman did the score and the songs. This is much more of a kind of as a lot of songs that it
Yeah.
doesn't stop and have musical numbers, but there's a lot of montages kind of stuff with
Yeah.
songs.
There's a few.
Yeah, there's a few. I'm thinking of the whole
Yeah.
series, I guess. But this was, Randy Newman, is a very talented songwriter, and he brought sort of kind of you would think is kind of an odd choice if
Yeah.
you know anything about his music. Though, it's just he's capable of doing this and did a very good job. And he scored it and wrote some of the songs that are, You've Got a Friend in Me was kind
Yeah.
of,
I think the other songs, Strange Things and I Will Go Sailing No More, also deserve attention.
right. Yeah. It was very,
Yeah.
very well done. It was, like, wow, this is what really kind of the future of animated films could be, I guess.
Yeah. So I think this is a timeless classic.
Yes.
Then it actually got a sequel, Toy Story 2.
A successful movie getting a sequel.
Yeah. I was going to say not that long after. Don't remember the year.
Sorry.
But it was Pixar's third film.
Right. They did Bug's Life in between.
Yeah.
Which was your first film.
Yeah. Now, Toy Story 2 had an interesting production history, which ended with them basically doing this whole thing in 9 months.
Wow. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. It ended up that way.
They
But
sort
yeah,
of
9 months.
they sort of expand their universe, and especially Woody.
Yeah.
You find out he is, was a popular character on TV in the 50s.
Yeah. That's where Jesse.
Yes, and there was this whole Roundup gang that he was part of, and a lot of paraphernalia was made, kind of like a Dana Boone hat, but there was like all this stuff
Yeah.
for Woody and the Roundup gang, and he had Jesse, and he had
Bullseye.
his horse.
And there was also Stinky Pete. The Prospector.
Yes, yeah, it was sort of a kind of a it was a show. Basically, there were puppets.
Yeah.
And obviously made no effort to hide the fact they were puppets.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a show that was. I mean, there were a lot of kind of, I'll say, low budget kids TV shows on
Yeah.
that time, and you had Buffalo Bob and I can't think of the puppet he had.
You would know better.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's escaping me. But yeah, so there were puppet shows for kids on TV in the 50s, and he would have been one of those. And of course, they go big with all the. It's sort of like Beatlemania with all the little stuff you could buy that would be.
I was actually impressed by all the merch that they came up with.
Yeah, very detailed
Yeah.
merch.
They really went all out on that. The movie also touches on a different aspect of being a toy, which is being a collectible versus being a plaything.
Right.
And Woody is, well, because of Al from Al's Toy Barn,
Right.
we learn that Woody is actually a rare collectible, or a valuable collectible, and he's the final piece for a collection that this Japanese buyer wants.
Right. Howdy Doody was the name of the character. I can see it on my phone.
Wait.
Howdy Doody. and Buffalo Bob. So sorry, I couldn't think of that. I was a little before my time.
Anyway, so there's that. Stinky Pete and Al are the antagonists
Right.
this time. Stinky Pete is closer to being an outright villain.
Right. He's also he's the toy that kids didn't want to play with.
Yeah.
And he got used to being sort of this toy on the shelf more than a toy you'd play with.
Yeah, and he resented the space race because it completely changed what toys kids were interested in.
Yes, when the whole Sputnik, Mercury era in the early 60s, everybody was into space stuff.
Yeah.
So the Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone kind of stuff was passe and move on, and he got caught up in that.
Yeah.
But he's also, mint in box.
Yeah.
Means nobody wanted to play with him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of almost better than an old inspector when you
Yeah.
have a horse and a cowboy and a cowgirl and all that.
Yeah.
So so he doesn't want to be played with.
Yeah.
Which is sort of he wants to be a collectible
Yeah.
and spend his life behind glass.
What was also interesting is we actually see the inside of a toy store,
Right?
specifically Al's Toy Barn, or an Al's Toy Barn location we suspect is the flagship one.
Right. Yeah, because
in the original Toy Story they mention locations for Al's Toy Barn.
right.
I like piecing that kind of thing together.
Yeah, and the main one is right across the street from where Al lives.
Well, yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah. But this also introduces the evil Emperor Zurg.
Right.
Or we actually see evil Emperor Zurg as referenced in the original Toy Story.
Right.
And,
That's right. Yeah.
Zurg is a fun character.
Right. Which they haven't really done enough with in the.
No.
But anyway, maybe that'll be 6.
So, I think in many ways Toy Story 2 is an improvement on the original. As Jesse also has a tragic backstory.
Right. Yes. And they revisit that again, but it's and she wants to be played with.
Yeah.
She wants to be a kid's toy, and Woody is very we need to be we're toys. We belong to Andy, and we should be happy about that and make Andy happy.
Yeah. It's not just Jesse's backstory that makes this an improvement in some ways. It's also improved animation, like the humans are easier to look at. Then there's also the more emotional, there's the emotional depth of the story. The original also had really good emotional depth, but there's they get a little more ambitious with this one, and it pays off.
Right.
That one's also a classic.
Yes.
Then, of course, years later, we got Toy Story 3, which was more difficult to watch later, mostly because of the incinerator scene.
Yeah. They're actually in real peril.
This one tackles the idea of like what happens to the toys when their owner grows up.
Right.
And in a way no longer needs them.
Right.
So we learn about that here.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I think when that came out, I was in high school.
Yeah.
Like late high school. So I was about Andy's age in the movie and felt kind of close for that reason.
Yeah, and you get the idea that he wants to he doesn't want to throw away his toys. He wants to store them.
Yeah.
And Woody is still his go-to toy.
Yeah.
And he wants to take him to college. And then, things happen. But it also introduces sort of other toys being evil.
Yeah.
Or mean, I'll say. As they end up being donated to a daycare.
Sunnyside daycare.
Right. And there's a pecking order of the toys, and they're the low man on the totem pole.
Yeah. And Lotso is
yeah.
is really mean.
Yeah, that was Ned Beatty, I believe.
Uh,
I could be wrong.
yeah, Ned Beatty.
Yeah, for you, hey, got one.
Looking on the back of the box here.
Yeah, and you get the idea that all the toys are afraid of him. He kind of runs it with a ruthless,
Yeah. And of course, that was at the time like far more advanced CG for Pixar. Almost there are times where it almost looks like live action.
Yeah.
Just with some of the shots, not necessarily the people, though the people are way easier to look at.
And they take characters that you've grown fond of and put them in real
Danger.
danger. Like they're going to burn up an incinerator.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, how do they get? Of course, they always get out of it, but
Yeah.
For a while, they were like, oh, this is really intense. It was like rated G for a G-rated film. It was really intense.
Yeah, I think it really should have been rated PG at the least.
Yeah.
They're definitely not the only one who thinks that.
And so you're like relieved when they actually, are saved. So it really tested you as a fan because you were really like, if you really cared about these characters, like they're all going to die.
Yeah.
That was really, wow. But if they did that, then we couldn't have all the other stuff.
Yeah. So I still thought this was a really good movie. At the time that I first watched it, I were thinking it was a perfect way to end the trilogy. And I would say still kind of it has a really good ending.
And Andy sort of passes on his toys to somebody new.
Yeah.
A kid that wants toys.
Yeah.
And so you sort of see him sort of one last play with them as he hands them over to her to take.
Yeah. Got to me.
Yeah, that was a very touching moment, especially after they almost burnt.
Yeah.
I find myself crying at these movies.
Yeah.
So there's again, you can really care. You really care about what's going on, and these are people you've known for, by this time 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
So anyway, the original trilogy is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Easily some of Pixar's best movies, I would say. Even the first one with comparatively more primitive CG was still it's the first one.
Yeah, and they were, it's really good.
Yeah, it still has a really good story. All three are really good movies, but again, the third one is a little harder to watch, like more repeatedly. I more easily rewatch the first two, probably because they're not as intense.
Right. Yeah.
So Toy Story 3 also has a actually really good licensed video game.
All right.
Also called Toy Story 3. Part of the fun is not just that they made actually a pretty solid licensed game that follows the plot of the movie for the most part, but has the toy box mode, which has a lot of replayability.
Cool.
You can easily get sucked into it and play that for hours. And the PlayStation version, you could play as Zurg in the toy box mode. I will mention that the game is actually getting a re-release later this year, and it will have the physical version of that is actually like 6 Toy Story games, and it'll even include the Zurg content, so Zurg is no longer chained to the PS3.
Now, there's in one of the movies, I thought it was maybe 3, they show them playing a Zurg video game.
Yeah, Toy Story 2
Okay.
at the beginning.
Is that at all replicated in this?
Yes. It's not exactly one-to-one with what is seen in Toy Story 2, but it is basically made that game playable within the Toy Story 3 game.
That looked like a very fun kind of game.
Yeah. I guess before I get too far, I will mention there's also Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Yeah, that was earlier
Yeah.
on, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, but I wanted to...
No, it was fun. You guys watched it.
I loved this show,
Yeah.
like, growing up. So I'm glad I held on to this because for some reason the show still isn't on Disney Plus. I really don't know why. I would rewatch it again in a heartbeat if it was on Disney Plus. But this definitely is. Star Command is just a really fun show and a fun movie, and I would recommend it
Right.
for anyone wanting more Toy Story. So there were also some specials, there are a couple specials that followed up after Toy Story 3,
Right.
which we have physically,
Of course.
Toy Story of Terror, which was a Halloween special, and Toy Story of Time Forgot, which I guess is more of a Christmas special.
Right.
And this is the horror aspect of it's light horror, but it's like getting picked off one by one in a hotel.
Right.
And
Somebody that's trying to resell them.
yeah, so we
Never
run
trust
into
the
that.
hotel manager.
And then this just at least explores another like sub franchise called Battle Swords,
Right.
and that kid got a lot of
Oh yeah.
Battle Swords.
Yeah. This kid in this that's a friend of Bonnie's or a friend of the family.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like he's got this room the size of our house, bedroom, full of toys, and he's got this entire, like growing up. You know this. You get like one or two things out of a collection of 100.
yeah,
He had all 100 things.
yeah, and more. Seemingly.
Wow.
But both of these are good.
Yeah.
They're worth watching. Well made. This is more just at least exploring interactions with other toys that staunchly believe in what they really are, rather than just they could be anything.
They're all in the mode, whatever.
Yeah.
Demo mode. Before we talk about the fourth one, we should maybe mention Lightyear.
Yeah. So Pixar later made a spin-off movie, Lightyear, which is
It's
supposed to be the in-universe movie that inspired Andy to get a Buzz toy. I would say this better accomplishes that.
Right. It was, I would say, a misfire.
Yeah.
And he knows we do not have it
Yeah.
physically, which means we didn't like it. Yeah, it was sort of a flawed attempt to make. It would not be a movie that a 7-year-old kid would say, "Hey, I want." You wouldn't show it to a 7-year-old kid, probably.
Yeah, it made me want a Socks toy, not a
Right.
Buzz toy.
Yeah.
Again, Buzz Lightyear Star Command definitely made me want a Buzz toy.
And it seems like it's not even canon with the rest of it because they sort of talk about Zurg and that relationship differently. And it's
Yeah, it just
This-
it doesn't matter what we say. It has, I will say, it has. The one interesting thing about it was the time dilation plot point, but even then, it just watch Star Command.
right,
Like, honestly. So that's that.
right. I just thought we should mention it before we get to.
Toy Story
All
4.
right. Woo.
Okay, so Toy Story 4 is unnecessary sequel in the sense that the third one felt like it did it really well. Like, why do we need to make more? Well, it made too much money.
Yeah. It's
So-
one rule in Hollywood: if it makes money, you got to do it again.
Yeah. So this came out a number of years ago.
9 years ago
Yeah.
or 7? No, 7 years ago.
7 years ago. We got Toy Story 4, which has more or less explores Woody sort of outliving his purpose in a sense,
Yeah.
trying to find a purpose after he gets neglected.
Yeah. Because Bonnie, who's the kid, doesn't have the same attachment Andy had to him. So he's not her favorite toy. She's just a toy. And she sort of, I think, kind of leans more into other characters like Jessie and
Yeah.
the dinosaur. I mean, she plays with other toys. He's not the main toy anymore.
Yeah. So we also got to see it explores more of lost toys, which
Right.
are toys that don't have an owner
Right.
anymore. And we also get to see what life is like for a toy in an antique shop.
Right. Which would kind of, it's sort of the same idea that you're just on a shelf and never get played with,
Yeah.
but she wants to be played with.
Rewatching this, I was remembering that I actually did end up liking it more than I thought I would. The idea of my feelings on it kind of changed over time the more I thought about it, but then rewatching it, it was like, actually, it's not that bad.
Right. And Bo Peep comes back.
Yeah.
We introduce a couple of characters. Is it Captain Kaboom or
Duke Kaboom.
Duke Kaboom? Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
also Forky,
Yeah.
who is literal garbage.
Well, again,
Well, he thinks he's garbage because
well,
he was made from garbage.
she pulled him out of the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a toy kid. You know, she makes her own toy,
Yeah.
and that becomes her favorite.
And we also have Ducky and Bunny, who are Key and Peele.
Right. Who are very good. In those.
Very.
So,
The one thing that was weird about Toy Story 4 is Buzz suddenly not knowing what a conscience is.
yeah, you seem to lose something along the way.
Yeah.
And Woody supposedly, you know, goes off with Bo Peep to help
Lost Toys.
Lost Toys.
Yeah.
So he's not part of Bonnie's little world anymore.
Yeah.
And that's sort of his decision not to be played with, you know, because she wasn't playing with him.
Yeah. But
Has a
yeah,
higher purpose.
Yeah. But yeah, Toy Story 4 was better than I expected and then better than I remember.
So you're kind of by 7 years later, hey, there's a fifth one coming out.
Yeah.
So I personally was a little like, oh, how many stories can you squeeze out of this?
Yeah. They managed to
squeeze
figure out a way to do it.
Yes.
In that case, it was in this case, Toy Story 5 deals with the proliferation of like screens.
Right. Smart
And-
pads or whatever.
Before I get too far, I wanted to mention for Toy Story 4, you should also try to watch the short Lamp Life because that actually bridges Bo Peep between appearances.
Right.
So we
Right.
actually see how she ended up in this
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, that was actually very well done.
So anyway, Toy Story 5, the proliferation of iPads and more and technology and how that affects play patterns with kids,
Right.
and also how it affects kids' relationships with each other.
Right.
And Bonnie has a hard time making any friends because she still plays with toys.
Yeah, and she's got a very vivid imagination.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard for other kids to get on board with.
Yeah.
And yeah, she has a hard time. There's kids across the street that she just can't figure out how to talk to them.
Yeah.
They're twins, you know,
Yeah.
twins are. And she tries to reach out to them, and it doesn't work. And her parents think that she needs to be like all the other kids and have this little, what they call lily pad,
Yeah.
which is sort of your introduction to the internet, social media, and chats, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And we also, Jessie gets more of a spotlight
Right.
because she's kind of Bonnie's main toy.
Yeah, and she takes
this
that
point.
seriously.
Yeah.
She's, of course, we talked about her sad backstory in 2, and that's sort of always in the back of her mind.
Yeah.
And it comes that's part of the
It actually comes back.
right.
And then we also more of the relationship between Buzz and Jessie
Yes.
that developed in 3,
Yeah,
or was more obvious in 3.
they have Forky and his
What?
wife, Knifey or whatever.
No, that's not her name.
But
I forgot what it was, but that's not her.
yeah, I know. Well, but they're, yeah. Anyway, so they they're close, and so Buzz is kind of copying that.
Yeah, then Woody comes back, so we get to revisit the dynamic between Woody and Buzz and how they've changed
Right.
in their time apart from each other, but they can also still kind of gel back together.
Yeah, it's like old friends. You kind of sometimes pick up where you left off.
Yeah,
And like no time has passed.
yeah.
So
Uh, so without spoiling anything, I actually like Toy Story 5 more than I thought I would based on the trailers.
and again, I cried during
Yeah.
the movie. Not just like little, but like I could feel it coming right down my.
Yeah. Good how they ended up how they handled their messaging about technology. They weren't straight up like vindictive is that the right
Right.
word? Like there wasn't anti-technology. It was more about technology being okay with play.
Yes, yes, you need it both
Yeah.
to make a whole child.
Yeah, and technology can help with, and it shows the good and bad with technology being able to connect people.
Right. Yeah, and
It basically tries to be more nuanced.
right. And I think it's really kind of it's very relevant now because there's a lot of movement in Australia and the UK to sort of limit children being on social media,
Yeah,
and the idea that the screen can take over your life and change how you perceive yourself are all sort of touched on in this
yeah,
movie.
yeah. And without giving anything
No, it's not giving anything
away.
away, but I mean,
But it was surprisingly good,
yes.
basically.
And we saw it in 3D.
Yeah,
And if you're like us and you wear glasses, and those 3D glasses are kind of clunky on top of your head,
yeah,
they had these little clip-ons to glasses that worked really well.
yeah. At some point I forgot I was
Yeah.
wearing 3D glasses.
The thing I was, my nose would get heavy with like this thing on your nose and
Yeah.
stuff. They clip right on. They were really good. So if you wear glasses, 3D technology is catching up.
Yeah,
I don't know, 20, 30 years later, boom, now they have it. But it was,
I still got it's here now.
yeah, it's here now. So enjoy that.
Yeah,
So go see it in 3D.
yes.
All right.
So
I'm assuming that in the 2030s, somewhere along the way, we'll have Toy Story 6.
maybe.
And, well, it depends. I mean, eventually you kind of,
How much more lemonade can they squeeze out of this?
well, but you've got Bonnie is life changing, and I can see that. And she didn't really, 7 years between movies. She didn't really age 7 years.
Yeah,
She like 2 or 3.
yeah,
And so, I'm just saying that I can see them. This will make money. They'll want to make two threequels. So that seems to be the. I'd be surprised if they left it at 5. Now the problem would be, let's say Tom Hanks or Tim Allen dies, and
Yeah.
you have a harder time. But
like
they have adopted 2 people. The voice actors die.
yeah. I was actually gonna say Don Rickles was Mr. Potato Head.
Estelle Harris was Mrs. Potato Head, and they're both now gone.
Yeah, and I forgot who Slinky was.
Jim Varney.
Yeah. So I will say Toy Story 5, the voice acting at this point. Okay, I could say the same thing about Toy Story 4. With Toy Story 5, you can hear aging in some of the characters.
Yeah.
Like, their voice actors are getting old, although it also arguably fits with them being old toys.
Right. Yeah.
But,
I mean,
yeah,
Woody's got to be, 78 years old. So 70 something.
yeah, but you can hear the age in their voices. For the, I don't know off the top of my head who voiced Mr. Potato Head, but there was sometimes he sounded kind of spot on, and there was one moment where it was obviously not Don Rickles.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was sort of, you weren't like going, that's not Don Rickles. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't. And again, they don't have a lot of speaking lines either. So it's
That
not,
helps.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Keanu Reeves had like 1 or 2 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
but anyway, I would say they at least managed to get good convincing enough sound alikes.
Yes. So I'm imagining this will make enough for them to say, hey, you know what, we should do a 6.
Yeah.
And what can we squeeze out of this?
Yeah.
And they probably will.
I just got notified it was Jeff Bergman.
Okay.
Saying,
Thank you to our spotter.
yeah.
Thank you. All right.
So I think that covers it for this look at the Toy Story franchise.
All right.
If you are watching this on YouTube later and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, leave a comment below if you have your own opinions on the Toy Story cinematic universe.
Okay. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
You've been on the air with Power Squared.